Welcome in, welcome in. Just getting the last few things ready here. So it's Friday night, and I decided why not, instead of doing one headlight this evening, let's do two. So, for all the adults, grab yourself something to drink, whatever it is you're into, and sit back and watch the show. Give me just a couple more seconds here to get my stuff together. So, we went live earlier today, and I made a pivot at the last minute and decided I wanted to do these two headlights instead of just doing one. Normally I go live and just do one, answer questions, show off the product, demo, all the things, but I figured why not? It's Friday night. Let's make a fun evening out of it. So I'm going to do my best, guys, to answer questions and engage. So I will be looking at comments. So if I don't answer you right away, just hang tight. I will get to you. So, Headlight Restorations. Of all the products, let me preface this by saying I've been in plastics since 2014, off and on. So, as far as headlight restorations and products, obviously you can go to Walmart, you can go to O'Reilly's, AutoZone, all the different places to get over-the-counter, solutions to restore your own personal headlights. But of all the different ceramics, whether it be Cerakote, whether it be the vapor, using acetone, wearing a respirator, all those type of things, or this product, this is where I have landed, and this is what delivers consistent results every single time I do it. And so we'll talk about this product off and on and what it comes with, how you get it, how to save a few bucks, all those things. But just another second here and I will get us rolling. So again, we kind of mentioned different products. This product comes with everything you need, from the different sanding discs to the cutting and polishing pads to the 3-inch drill backing attachment for your drill. It comes literally with everything, even the cotton-free gauze applicators for the ceramic itself. Again, every single thing you need. And they do it in a DIY kit, so you can do it for one vehicle. They do it in what they call a starter pack, which is for up to 10 vehicles. And then they do the pro kit, which is up to 50. So the guys and gals that are in the detail world that want to add another product that is worth adding to your list of offerings, if you will, this is a great thing. For those that are looking for a way to find something to do for a little side hustle gig, this is a great product to do that. Again, it speaks for itself. So tonight we're going to do two. These are from a 14 Dodge Avenger. As you can see, I'm going to leave that one in the back. We're going to work on this front one first. So those that pop in and out, we can kind of see where we started and where we ultimately end up. But we're going to do both of these tonight. So hang tight. Like I said, get yourself something to drink, and we will get going. Let me just grab the sanding discs that we need, and we'll get rolling. So any questions before I get started? Do you have to sand it down? Yes, we're going to hand sand. So I cheated. There were some really heavy scratches on here, and I try not to use. For demo purposes, I show that everything in this kit and everything that I'm doing, that's about as much power as you're going to need as a drill that probably the majority of you have sitting at home, in your garage, or in the junk drawer. Before we went on live, I took this Flex PXE 80 and I threw a 600 grit silicone carbide sanding disc on it, and I got rid of a lot of that surface area stuff, just in effort to save a little bit of time on the live, just so we could get right into the hand sanding and talk through that. So yes, we will hand sand. There is no need for something like this. This is great to have. The caveat being when you're in tight places, and certainly when these headlights are not sitting on your kitchen table and they're installed in the vehicle, sometimes there's tight corners, and a drill is notorious for kicking and a drill is notorious for banging into the vehicle. So if these things were installed in, depending on tight corners, I may actually use this for my cutting and my polishing, but I'm always going to hand sand no matter what. So this just cuts corners, saves a little bit of time, but again, it's a little over the top, as I like to say. So considering that we started at 600 grit to remove that top layer of UV coating and to get it all nice and hazy. Again, I started at 600 and now I'm going to jump up to 800. So I wet sand. I do not dry sand. I get a lot of questions about what I use as far as lubrication. A couple things there. These are really, I mean, $1 for Walmart, for a spray bottle, pure water, no isopropyl alcohol, no soap and water, no Dawn dish soap. I use these when they're on the table and I'm doing a demo. I do not prefer to use these when the vehicle, when the lights are installed in the vehicle, because when you start spraying this and you start working it, it's going to drip down the front of the car. And now guess what? You showed up to do a headlight restoration or you're restoring your own vehicle and now you have to detail your vehicle. Whereas the sprayway, again, ammonia free, will foam up and I can use it and it doesn't drip down the face of the car and create an unnecessary mess. So with that being said, 3-inch hand sander does come with all of the packages, whether it be the DIY, the starter, or the Pro Kit. And I'm going to jump right into 800 grit. So I follow the same process every single time. I do not skip grits. I do not cut corners because, again, I'm trying to reach maximum clarity and I want the customer to be as happy as possible. And not to mention, I follow the same steps every single time and I'm going to warranty this for 3 years. So again, this is demo. I'm not going to warranty my own stuff, but all the customers I do this for, I do warranty it. So out of stock on the starter pack. Yes, Anthony. So let's touch on that real quick. They did a major sellout or a sale and dropped prices and sold out of pretty much everything except for the two main ingredients, being the ceramic UV coating that lasts for 3 years and the lens prep, which removes oxidation, so all the yellowing, and softens the factory UV coating so that you can actually hand sand much easier. So these are still available. I do have a promo code for it. These are the most expensive things that come in all of the kits, but these are still available to ship immediately. And again, if you're interested, I do not drop a link on the live because TikTok does feel a certain type of way about that, so I just don't do it. But send me a direct message and I'll be happy to help you out. So without further ado, how long have you been doing this type of repair? This type of repair full-time for a while now, but I've been in plastics since 2014. So I know plastics very, very well. And I know kind of what I'm doing, if that makes sense. It doesn't take an engineering degree to do this. Like I tell everybody that's interested in finding a product just to do themselves. And I've got 4 of my own kids, so when I say this, I say it with all due respect. if a soccer mom of 4 can do this and I can do it, you can do it. So basically what I'm doing is I've jumped right into 800 grit because I started by taking that top layer of stuff off with 600. So naturally we go up. Again, I mentioned I don't skip grits. So you'll never ever see me go, if I have to go as low as like 320 to cut through like a bad 2K top coat or something like that, or even major damage, I'm never going to go from like 320 to 600 or 320 to 800. I'm always going to go 320, 400, 600, 800, all the way up to 4,000. 4,000 is the highest I go. And then we'll do a cut and a polish. So that's one pass. So generally speaking, if you see my lives before, you're probably going to feel like this is redundant. But I generally do 2 passes on each sanding disc, right? So whether it's 400, 600, 800, etc., I'll generally try and do it twice. Wet it, do it, wipe it down, wet it again, do it again. And also I've gotten in the habit of clearing the debris off of this sanding disc, right? Because if you're working outside, inevitably when you go to do something else, you're going to set this thing down on its face and it's going to pick up dirt, rocks, and just stuff that will add more damage to the lens itself. And so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. So what I'm looking for is all feel. I'm looking to see, or actually feel, how this thing slides on the lens. And when I say that, literally, I call it the 2-finger test. I'm going to grab this thing with my thumb and my pointer finger, and I'm just going to set it on there, and I'm going to just move it back and forth. If it doesn't grab, if it doesn't bite, if it doesn't have any resistance, and it slides like it's glass, then I know that this sanding disc has done its job. It's done cutting from the previous sanding disc, so we can move up. So we can go from 800 to 1,000 in this case. So we're almost there. I have a little resistance right here on this little bend of the headlight, so we'll work that. Again, I do the same thing every single time, no matter what the lens is, no matter what the damage is. The only caveat being 90 to 95% of all these headlights can be started with 1,000 grit and go up from there, right? So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, cut, polish, apply your ceramic coating. So that was the first pass. Second pass, I'm going to do a third one just for good luck, just because I felt like there was a little bit more resistance on this corner here. So we want to make sure that it's all smooth, that it glides across the face of the lens, and we can move up. So again, if I'm not talking through this, this would normally take me about 20 minutes a lens, start to finish. I can tape off a customer's vehicle, start to finish, 2 headlights, all the way through in an hour or less. Do you mind cutting, polishing with flex? So Juan, good question. I do not cut and polish with that. I tend to use the drill, just depending, because I've gotten so much better at holding it with 2 hands, especially if it's installed in a customer's vehicle. So like I have some resistance down here, sorry. I've just found it much easier. But again, if I'm in a tight area or the vehicle, you know, the body of the vehicle surrounds the headlight to the point to where it's difficult to get a drill in there, then by all means, yes, I will cut and polish with that for sure. Because that's a little bit easier to kind of maneuver around. So a little bit right here. All right. Keep the questions coming in. The system is Headlight Magic Ceramic from Walmart is just as good. Sean, I disagree. This will last 3 years. Ceramic will last about a year if you're lucky, depending on climate. And that's about all you're going to get. So we can agree to disagree, my friend. I've tried it, been there, done that. And it's pretty comparably priced to the DIY kit that Headlight Magic sells for $50 to know that your headlights are good for 3 years. I'm gonna do this one more time because I didn't like this corner. To know that your headlights are good for 3 years, it's a no-brainer. $50 is nothing. And it comes with everything you need. So Cerakote wipes are average at best. And I do this full time, run a business, and I can't put my name on something that's not going to last very long. Again, I warranty this work for 3 years. No questions asked. Any fading, peeling, cracking, sun damage, I'll come out for free and refix it. And there hasn't been a single time where anybody's called me in the last couple of years and said, I need you to come redo this because it doesn't look good. So, all right, so we just did 800. I'm happy with that. We'll jump up to 1,000 and repeat the same process. Ceramic, I'll get there, but here, it's the Headlight Magic with UV protection that gives it that final shine and gives it that sunscreen, basically, that will last and not fade, not color, not deteriorate for at least 3 years. So, wash, rinse, repeat. Same thing. Every time, wet the headlight, get the sanding disc wet, and now we're at 1,000. So again, we started at 800. We're on 1,000 now. I'll do a couple passes of 1,000, see how we feel. Yes, it's the best stuff on the market, and I've tried it all, from Vapor to Cerakote to Armor All to you name it. I've tried it. So a lot of people ask about sanding and pressure. This is not, so the reason why we use silicone carbide sanding discs are because the little jagged teeth that are on these sanding discs are one step lower than diamond. It's really efficient and really effective to cut soft materials, right? However, if you apply too much pressure, in other words, you're pushing down on this, trying to get something out, you will damage the lens and you will just create more work for you on the long run. And been there, done that. And there's no worse thing to have to explain to someone that's paid you that you have to redo it because you messed it up. So again, I'm not using any pressure. I'm just wiping this thing across the front of the headlight, no pressure whatsoever. And again, I can start to tell that in the majority of this, we are already passing what I call the 2-finger test, like right here. Again, 2 fingers, put it on here, and it just glides. It's not cutting. I have a little bit of resistance here. We'll work that. Glides, glides. It glides on this corner here, on this little bevel. And then I'll switch directions for one more time just to be sure. And that about does it on that one. So 2 passes exactly on the 1,000 grit. So this is what I was talking about. If you can see my table here, it's wet. So imagine this being the front of a customer's vehicle and all this water is just running down the face of the car, and now you have to go clean it up. Whereas the sprayway foams and doesn't do that. All right, so 800 to 1,000 is now done. We'll jump up to 2,000. Same thing. Any questions here? I can't do the ceramic coating on headlamps anymore. To me, it just doesn't last. So Mr. Brown, that's probably a result of the actual ceramic that you're using. And we'll plug it one more time. A lot of people say a lot of different things, right? So here's what's different about this. It is a bona fide fact that this Headlight Magic Ceramic is only made for headlights. It's not made to go on vehicles. In fact, if you're applying it and some of it gets on the vehicle, you've got about 30 seconds to wipe it off, or else you're going to have to get creative and figure out how to explain that to your customer. A lot of the ceramics are not made. In fact, probably 98% of them are not made specifically and exclusively for headlights. It's car ceramic. It's what detailers use. It's what guys in body shops use for extended protection on their auto body work, or detailers. Like I said, this stuff is made for headlights. It's not made for anything else. So now that we've got that out of the way, we're up to 2,000. We're going to repeat the same process, up and down, side to side. Again, some guys like to go in circles. I don't. I feel like it leaves circle scratches in at the very end. And so you'll only see me go up and down, side to side. And again, I'm sliding like glass on the first pass on this. As you increase your grit in terms of, going from 1,000 to 2,000, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, it gets much easier, less resistance. Because again, we just want to get that fine top just kind of sanded down a little bit so that it gets rid of those blemishes and some of the minimal scratching that the previous sanding disc did. So again, like I said, I don't cut corners. I'm not going to just say this is good and keep it moving. I'm going to do the same thing I do every single time. That was one pass and that's basically done. So if I wanted to, I could, but because again, I strive for perfection, I'm going to repeat the same process. Wipe this off, wet the lens, and do it again. Reason why I say re-clear coat them is because sanding takes away the protective laminate. Yes, and this ceramic adds that back. It's the only product on the market that does. Which is why I can warranty it for 3 years. After 3 years, if they want to do it again, it's super easy. 100% of the time, you're going to start at 1,000 grit, go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, a quick cut, a quick polish, reapply the ceramic, you're done. In those cases, I love those jobs because, again, that's $199 for me to do that, and it's about 25 minutes of work start to finish. So that's a great return on my investment. So yes, vapor strips it off. The Cerakote wipes, the same process. Basically, you sand and then you use these wipes. That strips it off. None of it adds it back except for this Headlight Magic, period. So one last pass here for good measure. And again, we're at 2,000 grit. We're sliding like glass with my 2 finger. No pressure, no resistance. It's not biting. And now we can wipe this guy off and jump up. If you guys have joined me and been here since we started, even though it's wet, the back one, the one in the back here, is what this one looked like. And you can already tell, just with the sanding work that we've done, it's already clear, right? So we're not done. So that was 2,000. We'll jump into 3,000. The oxidation will come back. I'm not sure. I think you guys are having your own conversation. So, same process. Wet it, wet the lens, and get back into it. And this is really smooth already because, again, the jump from 2,000 to 3,000 is minimal. And so again, we're just trying to get the little small imperfections that the 2,000 left on here away, and it doesn't take much. Again, this is pretty much already passing my 2 finger test already. I'm still going to do it twice just because that's what I do. And that's, you can actually hear it. I don't know that my mic is picking it up, but you can actually hear when there's, when the sanding disc is actually sanding something away, it's kind of like rough, and you can kind of hear it's kind of scraping. This, nothing. It just glides across it. And as you can see, with me working this like this, you can see how clear this is getting, just even from 1,000 to 2,000, and from 2,000 to this 3,000. So again, I believe that was number 1. One more time. Do my second pass. Wet the lens. Will Cerakote be cool for my first 2 clients? BM, that's on you. I mean, again, it depends on, maybe you Maybe you don't offer a warranty, or maybe you do and it's a limited warranty. That's a business decision you're going to have to make. Will it look good? I'm sure. But will it last? Not to the extent this product will. Because again, I've tried so much of it, doing this and playing in plastics for as long as I have, that this by far is, there's no questions of a product made specifically for headlights and not just, you know, an option. That this is the best for sure. So again, we'll clean up this water that I've managed to get everywhere. So 2 passes at 3,000. And again, we're going to jump up to 4,000. This is the last one we have to do. So, same process. Wet the sanding disc, get the lens, and now this is going to slide like butter. I just know it is. See? 2 fingers, and it just glides. So really, it's just getting that last fine little sanding done. No resistance. It's not biting. Up and down, side to side, and again, all the way across the bottom. Make passes. All right. So this one is for sure is going to be a two pass thing here on this 4,000 grit. And I'm happy with that. So you can see how clear that is already compared to the one sitting in the background there. That's how we started. Does this guy back here look just like this? All right. So wipe that down. Let that dry off just a little bit. Let's see if there's any questions. I did a fleet of fire trucks in one day, 30 vehicles at $50 each. Heck yeah, that's a good day. What do you think about Meguiar's headlight coating UV spray? Again, my job is not to disparage another product. I've just tried so many. I don't think I've used Meguiar's ceramic spray. But it's because I found this, and there's no reason to try anything else, really. Because again, I don't do it for a side hustle. This is my main job. This is what I do. So, again, in these packages, the cutting pads and the polishing pads come. This is a synthetic wool cutting pad. This really is just used for getting the last little bit of surface, scratching done and taken off. Let this thing dry for a second here. There we go. Okay, so all we're going to do is, everybody has kind of found a compound that works for them. I do not sell this. I get it right from Amazon. I use this to cut and I use it to polish. This compound does both. It's a micro cut. Because of how we do this, there is no reason to get a heavy cut, and I don't use 2 products. I don't use like a cutting compound and then a polishing compound, because this is a micro polishing compound, all in one. So I can use it for both things. A little bit goes a long way. So with that being said, generally it's just a couple little dots here, like 3 of them. Wipe the lid off. And then, so I don't splatter this all over my house, and certainly if I was in front of a customer's vehicle, I wouldn't want to splatter this all over the side of the car or all over the hood or anywhere else. I'm always going to take this and I'm going to dab it on the headlight so that it doesn't fling everywhere. You could even kind of rub it around. This microphone should cut out the sound of the drill, but I'll still talk my way through it. Okay, at what point do you cut? I'm cutting right now, BM. So, again, you're going to see this drill kick, which is why sometimes, I'm trying to get this in the screen here, make sure that's so you can see it. This thing is going to kick. So imagine this thing being in a customer's vehicle and you're trying to get into a tight area. This is the only downfall with a drill. It can be done, but you have to just be very careful how you do it, because you definitely don't want this thing to fly into the customer's body of their vehicle and create those problems. So again, get in here, and it's kind of kicking. See, it wants to spin off the side of this thing. If it was on a customer's vehicle, I could hold it with two hands and it wouldn't kick as much, but if I let go of this headlight's going to get flung across the house. So quick like that. I don't even have to wipe this thing off afterwards. All I'm going to do is take this off the 3-inch backing plate, and I'm going to grab the polishing pad, and I'm going to do the same thing. However, the only difference is I like to now put a little bit of this on my finger. Not very much. And then what I'll do is I'll put it on the headlight and just kind of rub it around. That also prevents the flinging of the product everywhere. And then I'll just take it, wipe it on here, and we're going to polish now. Same thing, same process. So this polishing pad tends to want to kick more because it creates more friction than that synthetic wool pad does. As you can see, it's fighting me a little bit. All right, so the next step is where the magic happens. So it should only take 10 to 15 minutes per lamp or pair. What city are you based out of? Mikester. I'm in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. Let's see here. All right, so let's move this so you guys can see this bad boy actually come to life. Water is ceramics kryptonite when you're in the application stage. So you want to make sure this thing is all the way dry. That towel's done. So that dirty towel out of the way. It's when you grab a fresh, clean one. And this is where I'm going to take the spray away and get this thing nice and clean. And again, see how it applies when you're wet sanding. If it's on the vehicle, that's what it does. It doesn't run down the face of the lens. It doesn't get the car dirty. So that's why I tend to use this more when I'm actually doing a customer's vehicle. So we'll get it nice and dry. And then I like to let it air dry for a second. I don't have my blower with me. It's upstairs. But I do have a little blower that I would just blow it off and dry it. So this thing is, compared to this guy right there, that thing is basically ready to go. This is where probably, I don't know, the majority of guys that do this would say, all right, you're done. That's all we got. And this is where this Headlight Magic product separates itself from the pack. So I'll use that again. Really easy, guys. The biggest problem you're going to have with the ceramic is streaking. The streaking is a direct result of not having enough ceramic on your applicator pad. If you notice it, you can use Sprayway inside about the first probably 30, 45 seconds. Spray the Sprayway on it, wipe it off, and reapply. So again, move this chair out of the way. We're going to use the cotton-free applicator pad that comes with these kits. We're going to fold it in half. We're going to fold it in half again. And then it creates this little ridge right here. This is where the fold is. I'm going to get that nice and wet. I don't want it dripping. I don't count 15 drops. I don't count 12 drops. I don't want it dripping. I want it to be saturated enough to where I can cover the whole entire lens and it doesn't cause any problems. So let me see if I can't get this all in the frame so we can watch this come to life. So again, I'm going to just put some on here. Make sure that it's wet enough. Grab this towel here, wipe it off the table. So, always going to start in a corner. Okay, and no pressure is being added. I'm literally just wiping it, right? So I'm going to do the exterior or the perimeter of the headlight itself to lock it all in. And then I'm going to do overlapping passes. Half on the new, half on the old, back and forth. Again, no pressure. Pressure will leave streaks and it will run down the face of it. This stuff is specifically made for headlights and it does self-level. So you don't have to overwork this stuff. You don't have to smear it around. Easy as that. Yes, Shane, 50% overlapping passes back and forth. And so, for those in the back, this is how we started. And this is where we're at. What do we think? How does it look, guys? So we'll sit here and I'll answer some questions before we jump into the second one because I'm going to do the same thing to the next light. What's the name of the ceramic coating? Chato, this is Headlight Magic Ceramic. If you're interested in this product, it is available. I do have a promo code for you, save you a few bucks. But they're out of the kits right now until early next week. But they do have these two products, which are basically what you pay for. This is the lens prep product. This removes oxidation, so the yellowing from the headlight, and it also softens the factory UV coating to make it easier to hand sand. Then it comes with this ceramic UV coating that will last for 3 years. So again, I warranty all my jobs and all my work for 3 years based on this product alone. No vapor product, no Cerakote wipes, no Armor All ceramic kits. None of that's going to stand up to this. To the extent I can warranty that for 3 years. It just won't work. It just won't happen. So that's that. Is it damaging to car paint? It's not. It's ceramic that's made for headlights, to answer your question. And could it damage? Possibly. So if you are wiping this product on and it accidentally does get on the body of the vehicle, literally you have like 30-45 seconds, hit it with some spray, wipe it off, and you're good. So again, that's why this product is different, because a lot of the ceramics that are on the marketplace are ceramics that can be put on your windshield for, rain protection, can be put on your body for protection, body of the vehicle, that is, for protection. This is not made the same way. It is not a auto body ceramic or glass and window ceramic. It is made for plastic, specifically for headlights. Absolutely, Jose. So let's see here. What do we think about how this turned out, guys? The one in the back versus the one in the front. How do we think? If you don't follow me or haven't followed me already, hit that follow button. I do go live, and when I go live, this is what I'm doing. I'm not on here just talking, cutting it up. If I go live, it's for demo, or I'm at a customer's, vehicle, or I'm at an auto body shop or a mechanic shop, dealership, etc. So again, I'm just showing you how the product works. I just joined. I want to see the transformation. What's the cost of these products? So C-Real, I can't talk about pricing on here, but I'm happy if you send me a direct message to send you a link with a promo code. TikTok doesn't like that. But yes, Stone just nailed it. What is cutting? Cutting is basically cutting that top. How do I explain it? You basically want to cut that top surface scratch that all of the hand sanding created throughout the process. So it's just a softer. This is a synthetic wool. So again, this is like like a wool pad that basically is just gonna do a fine sanding just to clear it up a little bit before you polish it. So John, someone answered that in there. Do you guys sell on Amazon? No, it's all done on Headlight Magic, but I do have a promo code. So anybody that is interested in this product, send me a direct message. I'll send you the link and the promo code, save you a few bucks. I will tell you that the 3 major kits are sold out until early next week. They were having a hard time getting silicone carbide sanding discs. Those will be in on Monday or Tuesday, I've been told. And then all the packages will resume. But basically what you're paying for are these 2 products here anyways. These are still available. This is all made right here in the United States. So it's ready to be purchased and ready to ship immediately. And again, this right here, as the combo kit online, just if you buy these 2 products, this is enough to do a minimum of 50 restorations between the 2 of them. So there's enough ceramic and enough lens prep to do 50 restorations. I already used that product. It's amazing. I need a couple of highlights. Yep. Speak on it, Ernesto. Do you guys, so Brian, okay, no, let's see here. So this stuff is a little bit sticky to the touch for the first couple minutes. It's worth noting that if you restore your own headlights or you're looking at a side hustle or starting a business out of it, it's worth noting that accidental and incidental water, meaning you restore your customers' headlights, they're parked, in a gutter, they pull out and they leave and there's a little bit of water running down the gutter and it splashes up. That's going to be totally fine. The only issue is you must wait 48 hours to put this thing through a car wash. And I've also been known to move appointments around when I know it's going to be a heavy rain, because again, during the curing process, rain is ceramic coating's kryptonite. It's not going to damage it. It'll just leave streaks in it. And so then you have to come back and cut all that off, sand it all down, and redo it. So the other option is to sand, cut, polish, let the rain fall, and then when the rain's gone, you can come back and just, clean it real good with like a spray way, wipe it down, and then apply your ceramic. That's totally fine. But sometimes it's just easier to just wait until the rain is gone. But again, car washes will tear the ceramic coating up if it's just been applied. So you want to let it fully cure for a minimum of 48 hours. Easy money for sure, Scrubbies. I love it. You got my money back and it's 100% customers happy, 100%. Yep. Again, I have used this product for somebody that's like, well, I can just go get aftermarkets or I can just go get Cerakote wipes and do it myself. And I say, hey, look, how about this? I'm at $199 to restore your headlights. 3-year warranty. You don't pay me unless you're satisfied. How's that sound? 10 out of 10 times I've gotten paid. No one's ever said, that sucks, bro. So, Cerakote's much better, or Amaral's or Meguiar's much better. Not a one single time has said, nah, that's not worth it, man. I don't see it. I think it sucks. I'm not going to pay for it. So that one's done. I know we've got almost 300 of you in here. And like I said, you're getting double the headlights for your time this evening. So with that being said, let me grab a few more things that I need and we'll start on the next headlight for those that have just joined, so you can see start to finish what we do and how we do it. So perfect time to plug this product when the kits get back available, whether it's the DIY, whether it's the starter or the pro kit. Again, it comes with enough of all these silicone carbide sanding discs to do either the one job for the DIY, do 10 sets of headlights for the starter pack, or do 50 sets of headlights for the Pro Kit. It comes with the lens prep here to remove oxidation and soften the UV, factory UV coating, ceramic with the UV protection or sunscreen, basically, that will last for 3 years, which is why I warranty it for 3 years. It comes with the polishing pad. It comes with the 3-inch backing plate attachment for your drill. It comes with the synthetic wool pad. It comes with the sanding handle. It comes with the cotton-free gauze applicator pads. Cotton-free is important because cotton has fibers that come out. So when you're trying to apply the ceramic, you'll notice little hairs in it. So you want to make sure you're using cotton-free so that they don't fray and leave little, hair fibers in it. What else does it come with? Comes with the Headlight Magic erasers. This is what you get soaking wet, and you apply the lens prep to remove. You can see that's yellowed, removing oxidation. I mean, this one I've been using for a while. You can see it literally removes all the oxidation from it. So it comes with those. Basically, all you would have to get outside of that are some nitrile gloves, some microfiber towels, a spray bottle for water only, no Dawn dish soap and water, no icy profile alcohol 9010 or sprayway. Again, ammonia free is important. And then finally, a compound. I found this Kosh Chemi and I've just stuck with it. I used to carry micro and heavy. I was at a detail guy brought me in to restore some headlights. He needed it for some reason, and I ended up just giving him the bottle, so I don't use it. So I just use this to cut and polish. Let's see here. I learned something new today. Thanks. Bingo. No worries, Michael. How do I send a message to you? Just go to my profile and hit send message. And then you can come back into the live. So this guy's done. Let me move this one out of the way. And we will get right into this guy here. Let's move this. So because I cheated and went on, well, I didn't go on, but I started this process using my Flex PXE 80. I started with a 600 grit silicone carbide sanding disc to get rid of all the trash that was on there. Lots of cracking, lots of peeling. I just wanted to do it basically to expedite this process because I knew I was doing 2 headlights. So I didn't want that to take too long. So with that being said, 600 on this thing is overkill, right? So for those guys that are maybe trying to decide if they want to do this as a side hustle or if they're a detailer and they want to add this to their offerings for their detail work, this is great. Depending on the application, will I use it? But when I demo this, and probably 8 out of 10 cars, I'll just use my DeWalt drill. There's no reason for it. It tends to kick a little bit when you're trying to restore a headlight that's not attached to the vehicle, which that takes a little bit to get used to. But it can be done. So there's no special tools needed. So let's see here. Can I use a regular hammer drill sand to polish? Yes, but just watch your speed. You don't want to cause too much friction. Friction equals heat. Heat equals damage. Damage equals melted plastic. Melted plastic equals new headlight for a customer. So I think I'm seeing a comment. Again, this thing is overkill. I got it from Amazon, the Flex PXE 80. It does come with 2 batteries. I've used this for a while, and it's still got 3 out of the 4 batteries are battery charge, and they run like $550 online on Amazon. 2, 1, 800. Okay, so if you're with me when we did the first one, we're going to do the same exact thing. Again, I took all that surface trash off before the live started on both of these headlights at 600 grit. So I never skip a grit. I know some guys like to skip all over the place. The issue is when you start to apply, especially this ceramic, you won't know that that's a problem until it's a problem. And it's a problem when you start to apply this, you will see those surface, you will see that scratching because that stuff is self-leveling and it'll mask a lot of blemishes. However, if you go from, if you've got a really tough beat up, you know, and you have to go down to like 320 grit, I've never gone any lower than that. At that point, I'm having a conversation with the customer about replacing it, just depending if I have to go lower. I have gone lower a few times, but I don't even carry anything lower than 320 anymore. There's just no need for it. I'm never going to go from 320 all the way up to 800 and then go from 800 to 1500 and 1500 to 4000. I'm going to follow the same process every single time. So with that being said, I used the Flex PXE 80 with a 600 grit. I removed all of the garbage off the top of this thing. So naturally, the next in the line is 800. So same process every single time. Gonna wet the lens, gonna wet the sanding disc, and we're just gonna get right into it. So I don't know that my microphone's gonna pick this up, but you can kind of hear like a rough scraping. Cutting down that damage that the 600 grit created. So it's like really rough. So in other words, it's biting. So we know we're cutting into fresh plastic. We know we're cutting down that damage that the 600 made. And as you go up in grit, it gets much easier. So this one's probably going to be a 3 pass, meaning I'm probably going to have to wet this, go both directions, wipe it off, and redo it 3 total times. I think that's what we had to do the last go around, because it's not anywhere close to passing my 2-finger test, and we'll get into that here shortly. So we'll wipe this thing down. Now, like I mentioned on the first lens, imagine you're doing this outside. You go to wipe this thing down. You can't really hold this sanding handle, so it's going to go face down like this. Probably on the sidewalk, in the grass, in the dirt, whatever the case may be. And because it's wet, it's going to pick up stuff that you don't want. Small rocks, sand. So I always come in before I hit it again and clean that off to make sure there's no rocks, no sand, no dirt, no contaminants on it. Because the last thing I want to do is go have to redo this because I picked up a rock and it gouged big scratches into the lens. That's highly embarrassing, and time is money. And I don't like to spend my time and waste money if I don't have to. So I can already say right now, 2-finger test, really simple. I just put this on here. I'm not pushing. I just set it here, and literally with 2 fingers, if it glides like it's on glass, I know that that sanding disc is done and I can move on. So I'm not sure if I'm in the frame here on the live, but right here on the edge, it's biting a little bit. I'm still not using any force to get rid of that. I'm letting the sanding disc do all the heavy lifting, and I'm just moving it back and forth. When sanding, should I apply pressure or just basic swiping? Basic swiping. Do not apply pressure because, again, silicone carbide sanding discs have little jagged teeth on them that are doing all the heavy lifting. It's 1 step below diamond cut. Silicone carbide is. So if you add too much pressure to it, you run the risk of these little teeth that are on the sanding disc gouging or scraping, scratching this pretty deep. And again, it's just going to cause you more problems, more work than necessary. And again, same thing every single time. Never skip a step, never skip a grit. The process is the process. Now, if I wasn't on live, like I mentioned before, I could have done 2 of these sitting here on this counter, start to finish, probably in 30 minutes. And that's sand, cut, polish, apply ceramic. So up and down. It's kind of biting down here. I'm going to work that a little bit, which is why I go different directions. Sometimes you don't feel the friction, you don't feel the cutting or the grabbing or the biting until you switch direction. The only direction I tend to never go is circular, because I have had situations where I went in circles early on doing this and it left circle scratches on the headlight lens. So again, all this water here dripping off is just water. So again, for demo, I'll use water because it's still a good lubricant for this stuff, for the wet sanding. But if this was installed in a customer's vehicle, I'm going to use sprayway. And in fact, I'll just show you the difference. When you put this stuff on, it foams up, right? It doesn't run down the face of the lens. I still will clean this off to get it off just for sake of repetition. And then I'll just tag that with a little bit of sprayway. Same thing. Nothing different. Doesn't feel different. It doesn't do anything different. It just doesn't run down the face of the lens, and it certainly doesn't create a mess on the customer's vehicle that now I got to go clean up. Because I'm there to restore headlights. I'm not there to detail vehicles. I did that in the previous life. Those days are done. So again, same thing. It works the same. It's not as dirty. But as far as lubrication for the sanding disc, it works just as well, if not better. But for demo, I just don't want to cycle through a bunch of bottles of sprayway. It is reasonably priced. I think I get these 2 bottles for like $8 or $9 shipped from Amazon. But Walmart's got them. They're a couple bucks. So again, 2-finger test. I'm moving a lot faster, but I can tell that I'm not going to need a third pass on this guy. So I'll wipe that down. And if you started with me when we started this, you saw how hazy it was. We've only gone through 800, right? And so it's less hazy now at 800 than it was at 600. And now we're going to go to 1,000, and I'm going to repeat the same process, except I'm going to skip the sprayway and just go back to water. Same thing. Wet the sanding disc. How's it going, Hidden Queen? So no pressure needed, guys. There's a misnomer and a misconception that when you're wet sanding, that you've got to put an awful lot of force into this, and it's just not necessary. Again, you'll do more damage than good. Instinctively, you want to tell yourself, well, if I just scrub it harder, using more pressure, whatever the damage I'm trying to get rid of will just come out. No, you're going to create incidental damage by doing it that way. So again, this will be a 2-pass on this guy because it's like glass over here. But to remain consistent, I'm always going to do the same thing. Up and down, side to side. I got 2 cars to do after work today. Heck yeah. I'm starting to do a headlight too. But what works better, ceramic coating? Ceramic, 10 out of 10 times. There's something about going to do a job where I have to wear a respirator that's too much like being in the medical field that just isn't appetizing to me. So to each their own. And this product will last substantially longer. I live in Colorado. Colorado's got a saying that we get over 300 days of sunshine. Vapor in the state of Colorado would last maybe 6 months if you're lucky. Because again, we're a mile high, closer to the sun. The sun wreaks havoc on stuff here. So it's not going to last near as long. Now this product I'm going to warranty for 3 years. So that alone tells me and should tell you that between the 2 products, this one is the way to go. So again, 2-finger test on the lens. No pressure. I'm just sliding back and forth. It's not biting. It's not gripping. It's not doing anything other than sliding across the face of this lens, which is exactly what we want. And this 2-finger test is the only way I know or have learned that minimal effort, like it just slides. See? It just slides across like minimal effort. So it's not grabbing. If it was still cutting, it wouldn't do that. You would feel some resistance. So again, I know this one is a 2-pass on here. And we'll go up and down one last time, wipe it down, and then we'll move up. There we go. So that one was 1,000. Let's see here. Vapor mug doesn't last. Correct car. Add to the bag. I just never use a ceramic coating. It's easy. Stick with me and I'll show you how to do it. And I don't know how to buff it. Stick with me and I'll show you how to do that too. Do you tape off around the headlight when you're doing it on a vehicle? Yes. See real. On the majority of them, I do, yes. But I've done this so many dang times. Probably well over, I don't know, so many that I've just got the muscle memory. That some vehicles I don't need to, you know. But for the majority of them, especially luxury imports, of course, Mercedes, Beamers, you know, all those sort of things, yes, 100% of the time. And that's more of just like an added step and a visual precaution that the car owner sees you take, like that you actually care about what you're doing, you're going to be careful and all these things. But I've got the muscle memory to where I don't have to tape them off if I don't want to. So now we're up to 2,000. And again, this is like already not even 3/4 of the way through this headlight lens, and it's already passing the two-finger test. But again, like I mentioned before, I don't cut corners. I'm going to remain consistent. So if I always do a minimum of 2 passes, no matter how it feels, I'm going to do 2 passes. Even if on the first one, it slides like glass, I'm still going to do 2, just to remain consistent. Because again, I found that if I remain consistent, follow the same steps every single time, that I'm going to get the same results every single time and never be in a situation where it's like, whoa, what did I do different? Why is this one look like trash all of a sudden? You know, you start cutting corners, you start skipping the steps, you start skipping around on your grits. That's what's going to cause you problems. So again, this water is a mess, which is why, again, like I showed you before, I'll use the sprayway to prevent that, because I don't want to have to go back and clean up the vehicle when I'm done. Same thing. Rinse it off. Let's see here. Thank you, Kryptonite. Tez, I'll go to 4,000. Where can I get the ceramic coating at? Add to the bag. Send me a direct message. I do have a promo code for you that will save it. There's the lens prep, which is the blue and white bottle here. If you can see that, it's a blue and white bottle. This lens prep is the product that removes 100% of the yellowed oxidation off the headlight, and it also softens the factory UV coating so that it's easier to do what I'm doing right now, which is hand sand, right? Which is why this product and the way it's designed and the way that it works, there is no need to, I feel a little bit of biting on this corner, so this one actually is going to take one more little small pass. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so now we're back to good here. So this thing glides like we want to. Oh, where can you get the product? Sorry, that's the important stuff. The lens prep product is the one that, like I said, removes 100% of the oxidation, softens the existing UV coating so that it makes it easier to hand sand. The ceramic is what is the top coat that also has a UV protection in it, or sunscreen, if you want to call it that, that will last for 3 years of protection. So if you're interested in that, send me a direct message. TikTok hates when I share that on here. But with that being said, send me that message. I'll send you the link and the promo code. Unfortunately, right this minute, all of the packs or the kits that come with like all the attachments, the sanding discs, the lens prep, the ceramic, the gauze applicator pads, the magic erasers, all those are out of stock right this minute because they are waiting on silicone carbide sanding discs that'll be here early next week. As soon as those come back, those will be available. But if you just want the chemicals, because you already have sanding discs, sanding handles, polishing pads, cutting pads, all that sort of stuff, the chemicals will never lead you down the wrong path. And again, I'll save you some money. If you're interested, I'll send you the link. Just send me a message, which is a segue into the next one for those that have just joined. If you don't follow me and you haven't followed me already, follow me now. When I go live, this is what I'm doing. I don't get on TikTok to chop it up and play music and talk crazy. I come on here and show you how to do something, whether you want to do it to your own personal vehicle or whether you're looking for a little summertime hustle, side hustle, or whether you're tired of the 9-to-5 weekly grind for corporate America and you want to go out on your own. This is certainly something that will get you there, you know, because again, like I said earlier, I have 4 children. So when I say this, I mean it with all respect, that if a soccer mom of 4 can do this and I can do it, you can do it. Again, it's so easy. It probably looks and sounds harder than what it is, but I promise you it's not. It's really that easy. So again, second pass on this 3000 grit, and I'm sliding around this thing like it's on glass. So we're done here. And if you guys joined me early on in this live, you saw how hazy it was when we got started. It was bad. This towel's soaking wet. It was bad, right? So we're still a little bit foggy, but this thing will be crystal clear when we're done. And so let's see if there's any questions. Nice work. You do. Can you please send me the link? Much appreciated. So user 358, send me a direct message and I'd be happy to send you that link. J-Bone, same as well. I can't share it in the live, unfortunately, or I would. I go live too much. I don't want to be putting time out. So let's see here. Now we're on 4,000. This is the highest grit we're going to go. So same thing. Follow the same steps every single time. Wet the sanding disc. Wow, guys, there's like 850 of you in here. Would you do your boy a solid and tap that screen a few times? So 4,000, same thing, up and down. Hearts are free to give. And I'm already sliding like glass. But again, I've said several times, I don't cut corners. Just because it feels this way doesn't mean that I'm going to just say, oh, that's good, that'll work, and then move on and be done. I'm going to follow the same process every single time. So first pass done, wipe down. Wipe this table off because I've made a monumental mess. All right. Same thing. Rinse the sanding disc off. Wet the sanding handle. You think you guys could get me to 8,000 hearts? Let's try. So last pass on the 4,000 grit, and then we'll do a cut, polish, and apply the ceramic. So again, up and down, side to side. Never miss a step, never cut corners, never skip a grit. Just do the same thing every single time, and you will be pleased every single time with the results that this product will deliver. Again, if you're just looking for a product to restore your own yellowed, hazy, foggy headlights, this is a winner, bona fide winner. I'm showing you how it wins. If you're looking to start a little side hustle, create a little extra income for you and the fam, this is a great way to do it. You know, what's nice about this is, the U.S. alone, 330 million people. There's well over 100 million vehicles in this country. So there's way too many headlights that look like trash that there'll ever be competition for a lot of us doing this. So again, that's why I'm an open book. Everybody is a target in my life as far as headlights. You know, I'll pull them from the gas station, the grocery store, from the from the mailbox, from the neighbors. You know, I'll pull them from everywhere. If I see you've got suspect looking headlights, you and I are going to have a conversation. And as soon as we get done doing this, if you guys want to stick around, I'm happy to kind of talk about how I do that, how I get business, what I say, what I do, all those type of things. So 2 times on 4,000 and we're done. So the next step is going to be a quick cut. See if I can do this and balance it without hurting me or the headlight. Put this on. This is the synthetic wool pad that comes with all these packages. Again, they're sold out right this minute, but rest assured they're going to be back early next week. I've been told Monday or Tuesday, potentially Wednesday at the latest. But the chemicals are available now. They're made in the US and they'll ship immediately. So let's talk about cutting. Synthetic wool pad on a 3-inch backing plate, just using a drill. I'm not going to use my Flex PXE 80 compound. Very important. A lot of people feel a certain type of way about the compounds that they use. I was trained and learned how to do this years and years ago with this Kosh Chemie product. I used to carry micro cut, which is what this is. And I also carried heavy cut. So I know I've said it several times on this live, but there is no need for a heavy cut. In fact, I was with a car detailer. He called me in to restore some headlights and he needed the heavy cut. I ended up giving him the bottle because I don't ever use it. So again, I use this for the cutting for this stage, and then I'll use it as the polishing compound when we polish on the next stage. So I am in my basement. There's a couch behind me, a window to my left. If I just were to put this on the headlight and hit go on the drill, this stuff is going to fling everywhere, and I'm going to have some pissed off people at my house. So if this was installed in a customer's vehicle, I'm going to be detailing a vehicle if I'm not careful. So in lieu of all of that, to save yourself the trouble, 3 little dots on here. I'm going to come onto the lens, and I'm basically just going to push it everywhere so that when I hit go on this drill, it's not flinging everywhere. Because the last thing I want to do is clean up another mess after I've just been standing in the hot sun all day. So, nice work. Please send me the link. Much appreciated. Yeah, so I think I answered that. This guy's going to cover your bills. All right, so the drills tend to kick. So I use the drill a lot of the time, mainly for demo stuff. But you'll notice it'll start to kick, right? And so I've done this so many times I can control it. And this is much easier to do when it's in a customer's vehicle because I don't have to hold on to the headlight. I can put 2 hands on this drill and just do my thing. So again, every square inch gets this little top cut. I'll make sure we get everywhere. All right, that's done. I don't ever wipe it down. I want to leave some of that residue on there for the polishing stage. Here's where I do a little bit different. Some guys put that, they apply the polishing compound right onto the pad. That's totally fine. I found that it's just easier for me to put a little bit on the tip of my finger like so. It doesn't take much. A little bit goes a long way. And then what I'll do, let me move this so you can see, just wipe it on the lens. Just kind of wipe it everywhere, right? That also is going to prevent the flinging and making a big giant mess. So then after that, if there's some left on my hand, literally just wipe it off onto the pad. And now we're going to go polish. So you can see on this polishing pad, see if I just, it wants to kick a lot. So imagine that on a customer's vehicle that's banging into the body of the vehicle. If you're not careful, you can certainly damage a customer's vehicle. That's why I would always say hold this thing with 2 hands until you get to the point where you've done this enough and you've got the muscle memory to control this thing, because it'll get away from you. So this is the last step. So those that have been waiting patiently for the ceramic coating, we're almost there, guys, I promise. All right, so that's now done. see if there's any questions. How long does polishing last compared to fume restoration way? Are you talking about vroom vroom, or are you talking about acetone vapor? It's virtually the same process all the way till the end. You sand all the way, and then you use the acetone vapor to make it clear, and then you're done. So basically the same process, with the exception is that acetone strips all the UV coating and it strips all of the good stuff off of the lens. Whereas this Headlight Magic Ceramic product, after I've sanded all of this stuff off, it'll add the UV coating back to the headlight and protect it for 3 years, which is why I warranty my work for 3 years. You cannot, excuse me, you cannot add a headlight specific ceramic to a lens that you have done vapor on. It will crack the lens. Don't ask me how I know. I just have been there and I've done that. Learned the hard way. So, clean towel, right? We're going to use a sprayway. Look at this in the shot here so you guys can see. Clean towel, sprayway. We're going to clean it up real nice. And then we're going to apply our ceramic. We're going to really watch this light come to life. As I mentioned, water, moisture is all kryptonite to ceramic coatings. So you want these things as dry as possible. When I'm doing this on a customer's vehicle, I do carry a handheld little blower to make sure that I blow all the moisture out of all the cracks in between the body or the frame of the vehicle and the headlight, to make sure that there's no moisture in there so that no issues come back to haunt me, because I do not want to have to strip this off and do it again. So this is where, like I always say, 80 to 90% of people that restore headlights would take this product, because it's clear, still a little bit wet, but it's clear, and send you on your way. The difference is the Headlight Magic Ceramic. Let me get this camera right so you can see this thing come to life as I start to do it. The difference is this product. And you'll see here what I'm talking about. So, again, ceramic with UV coating. Cotton-free applicator pad. We're going to take this guy. We're going to fold him in half. Right? And then we're going to fold him in half again. It creates this little ridge, or this little fold here. That's where we're going to apply our ceramic. Now, when we go to the headlight and we start to apply the ceramic on the headlight, we are literally just wiping. So we don't want to put pressure down and squeeze this against the lens, because it'll just make a mess. It'll drip everywhere. So I get asked all the time, well, how much ceramic do you put? How much do you use? Well, I don't count drops. I've done this so many times that I know what I'm looking for. I want this thing wet, but I do not want it dripping wet. If you don't use enough ceramic, the issue is going to be, it's going to leave streaks. Streaking is a direct result of not applying enough ceramic. And what's nice about this product, aside from the fact that it's got UV coating in it, it'll add 3 years of protection, that it's made specifically for headlights, is that it's also self-leveling. So you don't have to overwork this stuff, right? So I'm going to go in before it dries. I'm going to start in the corner. I'm going to work the top, go down the side, go down the bottom, come back up, lock it in, and then I'm going to do 50%, 50-50 passes. 50 on the new, 50 on the old, back and forth, and voila, this thing looks like it just came out of the box, as someone else said before. Again, you don't have to overwork this stuff. There's not a single streak in it. Let me pick up the camera. Not a single streak in it. Looks like it just came out of the box. Again, what do we think, guys? I missed a spot, did I? Oh, I almost dropped my camera. Oh, this guy's just giving me a hard time. So let's take a look here. I'll get it. So you don't want to touch this for the first minute or so because it is sticky to the touch. But again, this is what this thing does. This is how good this product is. So we'll let that sit there. And you guys can be mesmerized by that. I'll answer questions. Thank you, Jonathan. Name is Lucky. The name of the ceramic is Headlight Magic. Send me a direct message. I'll send you a promo code for a discount. Thank you, The Real DB. Thank you, Charlie. Sorry to ask again, but what is the type of tape you use to protect the paint? I don't have it down here with me. It's upstairs. I use the blue painter's tape. I get the 2-inch and the 1-inch. 2 coats. No, I just use 1 coat. Oh, Larson, I get you. No worries. Do I put 2 coats? No, just 1. How long do you have to wait before you put water on it? Good question. So, when I'm restoring these in a customer's vehicle, and by the time I pack up, put all my stuff away, and have the customer pay me, take their pictures, they can drive immediately. Now, accidents happen. Incidental things happen, right? So if they're parked outside and they're parked in the gutter and there's some water from someone's sprinkler or what have you, and they splash through that, a few drops after the first few minutes is okay. But torrential rain, heavy downpours, car washes are the biggest thing. You want to keep these things out of heavy rain and certainly out of car washes for the first 48 hours to let this stuff completely cure. But you can drive it immediately. Just use car oil. Chat. No need to buy these products. Car oil, yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Yes, we'll ship to Canada. Which car light? Oh, hang on. I'm so far behind on messages. Yeah, this is a 2014 Dodge Avenger. 1 coat. How long do you wait? Which car light? Lucky, clarify your question. What do you mean by which car light? Can you buy these products in Canada? Yes, Bear. Send me a direct message. I'll send you the link and promo code. Any paint tape is good. Yeah, that's true, Ernesto. Anyone need help with rent? This guy's gonna pay your rent. Cool. How many times can you use each sanding disc? Nate, good question. So depending, like I always say, 90 to 95% of vehicles can always be started with 1,000 grit. Go 1,000, 2, 3, 4,000. In those cases, that's the best case scenario. I'll get 2 to 3 sets of lights out of those. I try and get a minimum of 2 sets of headlights out of each sanding disc. Sometimes that always doesn't work, but I generally try not to have these be a one and done or a single use thing. Even though I buy them in bulk, they're reasonably priced. I mean, I think you get 50 of them for like $8, so they're not that bad. But again, I'm running a business, and as I always say, a penny saved is a penny earned. Let's see here. Does it last a year or so? Yes. And yeah, yes. 3 years on this product. I warranty this for my customers for 3 years using the same process, same product. How should I get it in Ethiopia? Go online and order it. Somebody really wants to pay you guys' rent. What sandpaper? Good question, Jose. So it's very, very important that you only use silicone carbide sanding discs. Excuse me. You can find them on Amazon. Make sure when you search for silicone carbide. If you forget that, go back to my TikTok page. I did, I think it's the first pinned post that I have. It's a bunch of pictures. That description's in there. Again, search on Amazon for silicone carbide sanding discs, and that's how you can get them. I carry 320, 320 grit all the way up to 4,000 grit. So would you say you still get 50 sets out of the ceramic? Where'd that? So would you say you still get 50 sets out of the ceramic even without counting the amount of drops? Yes, easily. Boski, yes. Ford Custom 2.2, I don't know, Foglight 2018 model. JD Cello, are you asking me a question? Please give me the name of the products you use. Hutch, it's Magic Headlight, or it's Headlight Magic, excuse me. Headlight Magic products. Again, they don't sell them on Amazon. Send me a message. I'll send you a link for a promo code that gives you a discount. You can buy just the chemicals, which would be where's my lens prep? It would be, this is the top coat. This is what adds the UV protection back at the very end. And this is the lens prep product. This product is a lifesaver and time saver as well. And I say that because using this little Headlight Magic Eraser, you can use any kind of a magic eraser, but these come with the kits. Get this thing wet, nice and wet, and then right down the middle of it, so right down here, you're going to put a line of this product. And what that's going to do is remove all the oxidation from the headlight. That's what all that stuff is just oxidation buildup. So it removes all the oxidation, kind of gives you a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like when it's fully restored. But it also, for headlights that still have factory UV coating on them, this will soften that UV coating in order to hand sand and sand through it much easier. So again, if you don't follow me now. Hit the bell at the top of my page so you get notified when I go live. If you're interested in any of these products, send me a direct message. I'll send you the link. Let's see here. Kingleman, how much do you charge? It really depends on the damage, but I usually top out at $199, and I'm probably averaging right about $179 per set. All right. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for running those hearts up. Let's see, what other questions do we have? So we've been on live for a while. We've restored 2 headlights. Got these off Facebook Marketplace. They were a hot mess. And now what's nice is for the $25 that I spent for 2 of these, going on live with you guys on a Friday night, I can now go put these on eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and sell them for, I don't know, 80, 90 bucks, 100 bucks, you know, whatever the case may be. So that's another little thing you could do aside from the practice, is go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or junkyards, pull and saves, pick and pulls, whatever, and get these and restore them for practice. How long does it take to finish a vehicle? Mo, so I average under an hour. I don't have my, let's see here. I don't have my app on. I average about 54 minutes across all headlights. And that's, I hit start. I created an app that I run my business through. So it is what it is. Payments, reminders, appointments, emails, all of it, CRM, the whole 9 yards. Once I show up to an appointment, I hit start and it tracks me from the minute I start taping to the minute everything is in my car. And I'm averaging 54 minutes from start to finish a job. And I'm charging, like I said, I'm charging more $199s than I am anything else nowadays. But even if I'm at $179, that's $179 an hour. Absolutely, Mo. So again, what other questions? Where do you base? So King, I'm in Denver, Colorado. I service the entire metro area. What other questions do we have? Guys, if you have questions on the business side of it, I'm an open book. Feel free to ask. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I don't gatekeep. There's no point in that. There's 100 million vehicles on the road, and there's just too much to do. So there is no competition. So if you have questions on how to get customers, if you have questions on scripts that I use, techniques, whatever the case may be, I'll tell you. What do you do after sanding? After sanding, good question. Hang on. After sanding, I'm going to throw on this synthetic wool cutting pad onto the 3-inch backing plate, and I'm going to put a little bit of cutting compound on it. I use Kosh Chemi Micro Cut. I'll do a cut. I'll take that guy off. I'll put the polishing pad on the same backing plate, put a little bit of the cutting compound and polishing compound on the headlight. I'll polish it real quick, clean it real good, then I'll apply ceramic. And the ceramic does have the UV protection added to it, so that, again, that's what gives you your 3-year protection. It's like, I'm very far away from you. Do you ship your products so that I can do it myself? King, 100%. Send me a DM. I'll send you a promo code. The blue and white bottle here is the lens prep, and the ceramic, the black and white bottle. All that's made right here in the U.S. We ship all over. Or they ship all over. I don't work for Headlight Magic. So Juan, if it's heavily yellow oxidized headlights, do you still start at 1,000 grit, or does it depend on the car make? Good question. So what I'll do is I'll generally, if it's heavily oxidized, I'll remove the majority, if not all of that oxidation with this. As you know, I know you're familiar with this product. If there's still some left, normally what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick like a corner here on the headlight. I'm going to wet it. I'm going to get 1,000 grit in my hand sander, and I'm going to sand that little area and see how it goes. Does it look like it's cutting, right? Because we know that when this thing transforms, in other words, when I start cutting into fresh plastic, which is what we want, it's going to go from like a yellowy brown color, and that's the remaining oxidation that's left on the headlight lens that you're cutting off, right? So if it's not doing that, then you're going to have to go down. So if you start, this is a 4,000, but I'm just going to show. So if I start in this corner and this is 1,000 and it's not doing much, then I'll go grab my 800 and I'll go there. And if that starts to cut it and it starts to get that yellow brown color off and then eventually starts to go milky white, that's what we're looking for. Yes, Michael, good point. Same here in Colorado. We get 300 days of sunshine. It's very dry here, and we're a mile closer to the sun than most people. And so the sun wreaks havoc on these headlights here. So again, the UV coatings just get beat up here in Colorado. Absolutely, Juan. I work part-time at an auto shop, and this would be a great new service. Michael, send me a DM if I can help. I certainly will. I can answer any questions. I can send you the link, all the things. So this is the first live I've gone, and someone hasn't asked me how I get customers or what I say or what I do or anything job related. So if we have none of those, I'll defer to you guys and let me know what questions you have. Good time to say, if you don't already, give your boy a quick follow. It's free to do so. When I do go live, I'm only doing headlight restorations. I'm not getting on here to chop it up and talk about my day. I'm in here to show you guys how to do something that can generate income for yourself, or show you how to do this so that you can restore your own headlights if you're looking for a product to do that. Let's see here. Well, guys, we've done 2 headlights this evening. It is Friday night. I appreciate you all spending your Friday evening with me, watching me do this. And like I said, I will be on live again probably tomorrow. I did a 2014 Honda Accord yesterday. I'm gonna do the second one tomorrow. It'll probably just be a one headlight evening. I try and go live at least once a day. I do need to go on Facebook or to the junkyard and get a few more headlights. Absolutely, D-Penner. No worries, Michael. So again, I'll be live tomorrow. If you haven't, give me a follow. Like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you have questions about the products, what comes with, how to get them, where to order them, you want a promo code for them, send me a message. I'll definitely hook you up. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm not a gatekeeper, right? Like I said, I mean, there's over 330 million of us that live here in the United States, and there's well over 100 million cars on the road. So with that being said, there's way more headlights than there are people, and there's way more headlights than people that restore them. So again, there's no reason for me to gatekeep and hold secrets. Again, there's just no point. You as well, Michael. Thanks. Have a great night. Well, guys, last minute. Any last minute questions? If you haven't followed, give me a follow real quick. I'd appreciate it. Again, if you want promo codes, if you want to ask me questions individually, don't hesitate. Send me a direct message. I'll answer any question you have. Those look great. Thank you, Clear. I appreciate it. Yeah, we did 2 of them tonight, buddy. Have you ever come across some daylight yet that you could not fix? No. Well, I kind of just told you a white lie. Yes and no. Yes, because anything that happens on the inside of this lens, you're not going to fix, right? And so I had an open, candid conversation with the customer that is just going to be what it is. But he still elected for me to do my thing on the outside. They were still 100 times better than what they were. But if there's ever issues, condensation, scratches, damage on the inside of the lens, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to get into that to fix it. So then I'm just going to always be upfront and honest with my potential customer. Like, hey, OEM replacements cost X, labor costs X, we can do this and it's going to cost you X to do this with me, but just know that I'm not going to be able to fix anything that's on the inside. So although he paid me to do it, it still should have been replaced just because there was damage on the inside of it. But again, it still looked great and he was still happy with it. So I was happy. No worries, Clear. Have you ever tried the vapor? Yes. And I will never use it again. It doesn't compare to this product. It's very dangerous. You're supposed to wear a respirator to do it properly. I refuse to put on a respirator to do a job. I'm not a doctor. I restore headlights. It's just not a safe product. And it's the same process, meaning you start, wet sanding. You're going to strip all the UV coating off. You're going to remove all the oxidation. You're going to hand sand. You're going to buff. And I believe hit it with the acetone. Again, I spent so long as I've done it. Hit it with the acetone. But then there is no product that you can put on the top of it, because I learned the hard way that if you use a specific headlight ceramic like this product that's got UV protection in it, if you put this on top of a lens that's been done using the vapor method, I've destroyed headlights. And that was very costly and highly embarrassing. So I don't use it. This is a much better product. It lasts much longer. You are hard pressed to get a vapor product or a vapor restoration to last more than 6 months. They will start to yellow because, again, you're not putting a UV coating on the top of it. You're stripping all of it off and just kind of operating on the hope dream that you hope it just lasts. But again, 6 months, maybe depending on climate, you might be able to squeeze a year out of it, but that's unlikely. Most of them are between that 3 and 6 month, and they start to yellow. They start to get hazy. And again, that's why I just don't use that product. What coat it with after you cut or you re-clear it? So Giovanni, that is this product here. That's this ceramic UV coating made by Headlight Magic. This again is specifically made and designed for plastic, more specifically headlights. This is not to be used if you're a car detailer or someone that puts ceramic on vehicles for protection. This is not for that. Do not use it for that. This is made for this, not for vehicles. So again, if incidental things happen, you may get a drip on a car. It's not the end of the world. Hit it with a little bit of sprayway or even some water and wipe it off with your microfiber towel. Everything's good. But it is not to be used on a vehicle. It's made just for plastic, which is why I can't say enough about it, that this product just doesn't, there's nothing that is on the market that stands side by side with this product, because everything else is made like as a multi-purpose type application. It's not specifically designed, developed, and manufactured for plastic, specifically headlights. So that's what I use. And if you're interested in it, send me a DM. I'll send you a link. So someone said show my product. I don't know if this is what they mean, but I'll slide this back. My toolkit, guys, is like probably one of the best, easiest things in the entire world. I use the rigid setup. Find it at Home Depot. And what I like about it is I have the big base on the bottom that's got, you know, these are the stackable ones, that's got like the wheels on it with the handles and all that. So everything I do and everything I use is right in here. So again, 400 grit all the way to 4,000. All my chemicals, all my cut and polishing pads, those are the cotton-free gauze applicator pads, nitro gloves, Headlight Magic erasers, and up there is where I keep all my attachments, like my 3-inch backing plate, my handheld sander, and that sort of thing. And then in the bottom that has the wheels, the bigger case, is where I store all my big stuff, like my sprayway, my drill. I've got like 50 microfiber towels that go in it, my tape, extra gloves, extra headlight, extra magic erasers, extra batteries for the drill, extra batteries for the Flex PXE80, all that sort of stuff. So this stuff, this can fit in any car, any SUV. It's not a whole lot to tote around. Yeah, Milwaukee, but same thing. Serves the same purpose. That's just a little bit cheaper than Milwaukee, because I don't care about the name that it says, as long as it works. What is that toolkit called? That is the rigid. I don't know what the actual toolbox is called, but it's made by Rigid. I got it at Home Depot. I think for the bottom big toolbox with the wheels on it and this top separator box, I think I paid $150 for both of them. It might have even been a little cheaper, but right from Home Depot. What else, guys? What other questions do we have? Absolutely. The GOAT. If you have any questions, looking for tips, tricks, products, have questions, send me a message. I'm happy to answer. I'll shoot you straight. I've got nothing to lose. I'm not a gatekeeper. There's too many cars on the road. How can you tell which grit to start with? So, good question. 90 to 95% of all vehicles are going to start at 1,000 grit. And to know, assuming this one wasn't restored, I would pick this little corner out here. I would get my handheld sander. I would start with 1,000 grit. I would get it wet, and I would do a little test area right there. And I'm looking to see what the color of the fluid is, or the liquid that's on there, right? If it's cutting the oxidation off, it's going to be like a brownish, yellowy kind of color. And if you're cutting into fresh plastic, which is ultimately the end goal, it's going to be like a milky white. So if you start at 1,000 and it's starting to remove all of that yellowing oxidation and coating on the top, then you know you're in the right spot. But if it doesn't do that, and it's kind of just sliding across the top of it and it's not cutting, it doesn't bite, doesn't grab, it doesn't cut, then you're going to want to go down to like 800. Try that in a little test area. See if it does it there. If not, you may have to go down to 600. The lowest I ever have to go is 400. I've done 320 once. In fact, I bought like 10 of them on Amazon. And for as long as I've been doing this, I just actually ordered more 320s yesterday, as a matter of fact. So those should be here tomorrow. But I don't use them very often, right? Because if you're not careful with those really low grits, you can damage these headlights if you're not careful. Wait, can you say that again fast? Sorry, I screen recording. Which part do you want me to say again, the goat? And I'm happy to. About how I started? Oh, so I'm going to do a little test area here. Like I said, 95% of all vehicles you're going to do starting at 1,000 grit. And what I'm looking for is whatever that the lens for this product, for whatever the lens prep didn't get off as far as the yellow oxidation and that sort of stuff. I'm looking for like the color of the liquid to go from like a brownish yellowy color to a milky white. So if it's cutting, it's going to go from those two colors. The milky white is 100% means that you are cutting into fresh plastic, and that's what we want, because we want to strip all of that oxidation off. We want to strip all that factory UV coating off. And certainly if somebody's trying to restore these again, you want to strip off all that ceramic. You want to strip off anything that's on there so that you can get into fresh plastic and then work your way up. So if you do a test here at 1,000 and it's doing just that, do the whole lens, get it all hazy, get it all foggy, then go up to 2,000. Repeat the process. Go up to 3,000. Same thing, all the way up to 4,000. I stop at 4,000. Does that answer your question, to goat? Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So any other questions about what you're looking for, how to do it, where to do it, what to do, what not to do, how to get customers, any of that? It's Friday. We can just hang out. I mean, look, the goat, you can, but if 1,000 works and it's doing the job, that just saves you an extra couple pieces of sanding disc. That saves you a few extra minutes of time. And certainly if you're charging somebody for this, time is money in this world. So if it takes you 3 or 4 minutes, per each sanding disc, and you're doing it, a couple times, the minutes pile up, right? So it's all just feel. It's all, you'll get it. It's not that hard, I promise. So again, guys, if you're just jumping in and you haven't followed me, if you're interested in these products, I'll start to line them up here in front of the camera again so you can see what comes with all these packages. The packages are temporarily out of stock because they're out of silicone carbide sanding disc, but those are coming next week, early next week. We'll do a quick little rundown here on everything that you need, or everything that comes with these kits, whether it's the DIY kit for a single car, or whether it's the starter pack for 10 vehicles, or whether it's the pro kit for 50 vehicles. It comes with it all. So we'll run it down. Ceramic coating in the black and white with the UV protection. I warranty my jobs for 3 years because of that product and that product alone. It's made specifically for plastic and more specifically for headlights. This blue and white bottle, that's the lens prep. That's the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to get one of these magic erasers. There's a scrubby side as well. Get it nice and wet. You're going to put a nice little line of that lens prep down the middle of it. And you can kind of see the yellowing in here. That was some oxidation that was taken off of a previous headlight. So it's going to remove all that yellow oxidation off of it. The product also softens the existing factory UV coating, right? To make it easier to hand sand. Because again, I don't power sand, so I don't use drills or polisher sanders to actually sand. Everything is done by hand, because there's something about doing it by hand that you can actually feel it and you can tell when it's done, and when you still, like, you can find areas on the actual lens that need more work. With a sander, you're just going, right? So comes with these two chemicals. Comes with enough of the sanding, the silicone carbide sanding disc right here in the back of the screen back here. 800 to 4,000. Comes with enough of those. Comes with the 3-inch backing plate attachment for your drill. Comes with the 3-inch hand sander. This thing is so easy to use. Fits great in the hand, so your hands don't cramp up. It's really easy to use, like I said. It comes with the polishing pad, right? Comes with the gauze, cotton-free applicator pads to apply the ceramic coating at the very end. And it comes with the synthetic wool cutting pad. So we lens prep to remove all the oxidation. We hand sand starting anywhere between 800 and 1,000, all the way up to 4,000. We cut with this. We polish with this. Then we apply ceramic here. And that's the result you get. Crystal clear lights. 10 out of 10 times. Every time, if you follow the same process every single time. Yo, can I DM a picture of my first job and you can tell me what you think I should start at? Yes, absolutely. Thanks for the rose. I appreciate you. How do you clean those? One, water. They will last forever. Don't soak them. Don't throw them through the dishwasher or washing machine or anything crazy like that. But a little bit of warm water. Rinse them off. They'll last them forever. And they're relatively inexpensive too. You can get replacements on Amazon for a couple dollars a piece. So let's see here. Anybody else have questions before we wrap this thing up? So again, Headlight Restoration. If you're looking for something to generate a few extra bucks, this is the product to use to do it. If you're looking to or for a kit that's going to give you the best results for your own personal car, this is the one to do it. If you're tired of the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 5 corporate America grind and you want to go off and do something else, this is it. Because anybody can do this. You don't need to go to automotive school. You don't need to take any courses, classes. You don't need a coach, a mentor. This stuff is so easy that anybody could do it. So again, I'm lucky that I got the Headlight Magic kit right before it. Yes, you are. Because I've got an inbox full of people messaging me, wondering when they're going to come back. And they're a bunch of sad pandas that it's not available. So with that being said, it'll be back next week. Ready to go. Well, guys, we took two hazy, nasty, messed up Facebook Marketplace headlights that you could not see through, and we turned them into this using these products down here. And if I'm going to flip these on eBay or Craigslist or put them back on Facebook Marketplace, I spent $25 for the pair. I could easily unload these for $100, $125 to somebody that needs OEM replacements. Absolutely, Juan, anytime. the GOAT. That's the way to do it, my man. Got to start in somewhere. I appreciate the hustle. At 15, I wish I would have found something like this, because you can grow this into something special. I won't go off on a tangent, but with the evolution of AI, ain't no AI robot going to be able to do that anytime soon. In fact, Ford just pulled 300 AI robots off of their production line because they couldn't figure it out. And they put humans back on there. So again, find a skill, find a trade, find something that you enjoy doing, and grow it. Give it all you got. Well, guys, if you're late to the party, sorry, we're just getting wrapped up. We restored 2 headlights tonight, start to finish. I'll be back on live tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will do that other 2014 Honda Accord headlight. So if you don't follow me already. Follow me now. Oh, how should you advertise? Honestly, one of many things that I've done at my age was marketing and advertising. I know more about Facebook and Instagram advertising and how to do it and demographics and all that than the average person does. And I burned through about $3,000, and not a single lead came in because it was so hard to advertise this. People just don't get it. It's more of a hands-on. It's more of a I need to see it type of thing. And so for me, the biggest bang for my buck has been from right here from TikTok, is going live, showing how this works, putting out videos of the restorations that I do, putting out, information about the products that I use, that sort of thing. That has been by and large the best way to advertise, and word of mouth. And so, what time am I streaming tomorrow? Tomorrow, probably early afternoon. I'll probably say between 2 and 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Denver. So somewhere around then, maybe a little later, but somewhere around then. Word of mouth. Yes, I was going to touch on that, D. Penner. Word of mouth. Since there are over 330 million people that live in this country with over 100 million vehicles on the road, everybody, and I mean everybody, is a potential customer. I'll pull them out of gas stations. I'll pull them out of places that people go to spend their discretionary funds, like a Best Buy, like a shopping mall. I will not go to a Walmart or to a grocery store, and it's not because those people don't have money, but those people are at the grocery store to save a few bucks on eggs and a gallon of milk. They're not really worried about restoring their headlights. But those guys that are at Best Buy trying to buy the new PS9 and the new Xbox, they've got some money. So my script is very, very straightforward. It's very easy. If I'm pumping gas, I always roll with business cards on me. They're always in my car, always in my work bag. If I'm pumping gas and I see somebody, man, woman, teenager, pumping gas, when you do this long enough, your eyes gravitate to everybody's headlights. If I'm pumping gas and I see somebody that's got some heavily oxidized, hazy, foggy headlights, I'll walk up and it's really easy. Hey, today is what, Friday? So if it was today and I was at the gas station, I would say, hey, my name is Brian. I'm from Headlight Boost. I don't want to ruin your Friday, but I noticed that your lights are super yellowed and oxidized, and they're probably hard to see. If you ever think about fixing those and making those things bright again, here's my card. Give me a call. That's it. That is it. It's that simple. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to oversell it. Hey, tell them who you are, where you're at, what you do, and how you can help. Give them a card. Be on your way. Now, we know a good, healthy, probably 90% of those business cards you hand out or more, 95% are going to end up right in the trash can. But it's the 5% that care enough about their vehicle, that have the money to restore it, that are interested in making their car safe to drive so they can see and everything's top shape. That's the 5% of people I want. That's the 5% of the people that are going to give me $199 to make their headlights look like that and then stand behind a warranty for 3 years. That's who I want to deal with. I don't want to worry about the guys that are tight on money. Not that their headlights aren't important, but they don't see the value. That's not important to them. Like most of us are still out there trying to put food on the table. Most of us have kids that are in college. Most of us are trying to save a buck for retirement. This is something that's important that, not everybody is going to be up for, especially depending on your price. Yes, cards are a tax write-off. I'm an LLC, so 90% of what I do is tax write-off. But I'm not a tax guy, so proceed with caution on that one. Do I go to them? Yes. Meaning, do I go to the customer? Yes. I don't have a shop. There's no need to pay that overhead. Honestly, I enjoy going to customers' workplaces, right? Because it's the keeping up with the Jones effect. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, God is my witness, and I posted it yesterday. I did a Mercedes 350. The son had tried to restore those himself with, I believe he said it was an Armor All product, and it was a hot mess. Deep gouges, scratching. It was messed up. So as I'm out there doing that, I have a sign. One of these lives, I'll bring the sign down and show it. But I have a sign that's basically built on a sawhorse. Looks really good. That I put out in front of me when I'm working. And when I was there doing this gentleman's car, like 4 people from the office building came out and asked me what I was doing, what did I cost, showed me their cars, asked me what it would cost them, when I could do it. So I really enjoy going to people's workplace because it's that keeping up with the Jones. Oh, well, if John's doing this, let me go check this out and see, because my headlights look like trash, so that everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants to be included. So that's where I get a lot of referral business, is just doing the work and showing up from somebody that's already brought me in. And that's just much easier. Yes, correct. Deep enter. Do 1, get 5 more. 100%. Right on, guys. Well, we've been on for a while now. It is Friday night. We did do 2 complete restorations, start to finish. I think they turned out fantastic. Again, that's the first one. This is the other one that we did. Again, shiny, crystal clear, perfect, like it just came out of the box. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the second of the 2014 Honda Accords. So if you don't follow me yet, follow me now. Hit that little bell so you get notified when I go live. And like I said, when I go live, I'm just working. I'm not going to waste your time. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll show you how to use this product. I'll show you where to get this product, and I'll show you how to market this product. So again, if nobody has any questions, what's up, Australia? So catch me on the next one, guys. I'll be live again tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow probably, I'm on Mountain Time, sometime between probably 2 and 3. It may go a little bit later than that, but sometime between 2 and 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. I'll do a restoration on the Honda Accord headlight. So if you missed that, this one, or the 2 that we did this evening, make sure you catch me tomorrow. Like I said, thank you, Deep Enter. I appreciate that. Catch me tomorrow, and you can watch start to finish how easy this is and how good this product performs if you follow the same steps every single time. So I don't see any other questions coming in, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Those that are just now joining in, sorry you're a little bit late. Follow me. Catch me tomorrow. You're going to see me restore another headlight. I'm going to take it from foggy, hazy, can't see through it, to that right there. So for those that just joined in, we'll show you how crystal clear that is. If anybody was here when the live started, you know that I did 2 of them and they could not be seen through. They were super foggy and hazy. And this is the product right here that I'm using to do that. It's going to give you these results every single time if you follow the same process that I do. Easy enough that anybody can do it. So with that being said, guys, I'll let you go back to your Friday evening. Follow me if you haven't already. If you're interested in these products, one last plug. It's the Headlight Magic products. the lens prep and ceramic top coating with the UV protection that'll last for 3 years. Again, send me a direct message. I'll send you the promo code. The actual kits are sold out right this minute, but they'll be back available early next week, so you can grab those then. But this stuff is made right here in the US and it can ship immediately. This is what you're paying for anyways out of the kits. All this other stuff can be bought online at Amazon or places of that nature. But this stuff is made exclusively by Headlight Magic and can only be bought from Headlight Magic. But again, I have a promo code that I'll send you for a discount. If you're interested, just send me send me a direct message. All right, no more questions here. Scroll back just real quick. All right, guys, enjoy your Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. Send me a message if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining and watching the live.